Howdy y'all, this is AR Cavalier. Welcome back to my channel as we now continue with the legal misadventures of Shank and Rizzo. When we left, they were getting ready to do a sting. They had brought the black marketeer, Miss Kobos, out of protection, so to speak. Beth Kobos, she was the inspector who in the Norinco arms factory who was selling black market stuff, marking them bad and then selling them. They had found a Marine collaborator and found that the name of at least the one Marine, and there's obviously a couple because one was driving, at least, and possibly more. But Tulio Quezada, or it would be Quezada? Tulio Quezada, known to by his mocking military nickname as Too Queer, but doesn't get called that much anymore. He's no longer in the military, but he obviously is a median working for General Meade. They set her up, and he was going to go out and to meet. Okay, the marshals had set up a place, so there's multiple out there for this sting. So I think what we need to do first, of course, they've got drones and they've got people scanning around, but how do they deal with it? These medians, these Medites. They're obviously they're not stupid. They don't necessarily know because the guy who made the phone call sold it pretty well. So they don't necessarily know that it's a sting from the marshal's office. But they're not dumb. They're very careful. They're obviously some kind of, special operations group, special forces, whatever. So I'm going to give them a recon roll, and I'm just going to. At first, I was going to say, I'm going to roll one die to see if they're suspicious. Well, of course they're suspicious. They're wanted, so they're going to be suspicious. I'm going to give them a recon roll to see if they notice anything about the marshals, and we'll see what they do with it. 9. Okay, so they definitely know something's going on. They may not necessarily know it's a sting, but 9, 10. So I'm going to say that not only do they know that there's something that something's going on. I guess I could do an opposed roll with the other group. Let's see how well the marshals, just as a whole, let's see how well they do on their disguise / stealth. Okay, pretty crappy. So there's one or two that obviously are not, they're not selling the fact that they're just innocent bystanders or whatever. Someone, they know they're there. Let's see how do they come in force, the bad guys. Is it just Tulio? Right, their goal right now is just to whack that girl. They're not there even to find out what she knows or anything like that. They just want to kill her. They don't necessarily want to blow her head off in this big public market though. Their plan is to take her off somewhere, where they can just put a couple silenced bullets into her skull or something like that. How much force they come in with though? There's really only a handful of them, and they don't really care to be in the same place, but they've got the stuff. They're trying to leave, and they're trying to wrap up the loose ends. So they might all be there. Okay, so they're all there. Um, that's a six. That's as many as they're going to be. So I'm going to say that there are five total of these of this team, of Tulio's team. Five Marines or ex-Marines, ex-Special Forces Marines. They see that something's going on. But someone on the team probably did see them coming in. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. Look, there's cops. At least those two. If those two are there, then there are more somewhere. Look up, I bet they got snipers. This is a setup. We need to get out of here. But they want to take her out. Decisions. So they definitely, they want to go. They know the jig is up. They don't want to get involved in some kind of big shootout with, again, they may not know some marshals or whatever, but they don't want to get in a big shootout with law enforcement. And all right, well, I think my neighbors are actually having a quince as I look out the window. So if you hear that music coming through, it would just be the some Brazilian ambiance for the street market. But it's crowded enough. I'm gonna say it's crowded enough that they can't actually just pop off a sniper shot and get a clear shot. So they're going to have to do something up close, like try to sneak in, or maybe try to do a drive-by or something. Maybe get on a bike or a motorcycle and try to pop her that way. Or maybe they're just going to run for it. I'm not sure which one they do, because they really do want to get rid of her, but they know that it's a trap now. They saw through it. They know that there's something going on, but maybe they think that the cops, whoever it is, whatever department, maybe they feel that they're kind of goofballs. So I'll say on a 4, 5, or 6, they're going to try to take her out, and on a 1 through 3, they're just going to walk away and try to and just assume that she's compromised and that whatever she knows she has already told, and in which case there's really no point in killing her. So in fact, I'll leave it at 50-50. All right, so 4, 5, or 6, they're going to try to take her out. All right, so they don't. They decide that discretion is the better part of valor. All right, abort. Let's get out of here. Everyone knows the plan. And I think their plan is probably something like scatter and then get off world. And their plan, I'm sure that they have birthing set up under fake names and everything like that. So nothing comes of that. They saw. Let's see. Does anyone see them and realize that they're not coming, or do they manage to just get away clean? All right, since it's kind of a big, multifaceted situation, I'm just going to do it as a yes/no question. Does somebody see them? And these guys made a pretty good recon roll, so they saw the cops, they saw the marshals, the undercover marshals, pretty far off. So I'm going to say I'm going to say that maybe the marshals, someone on that marshal team, because they only know the one guy, right? They only know what Tulio looks like. They were able to pull up some records and get some pictures of his military service. Um, and they do have a larger group of the people who are survivors of that battle where the tattoo comes from, but they're not, it's not 100% certain that everybody involved is from that battle. And there's a lot, that's a lot of people. Tulio is the only one that they know for sure is in there, and he had a good role, and he's a sharp guy, and he's suspicious. So I'm going to say only on a 5 or a 6 did any of the marshals spot him. Oh, so close, so close. And so they wait, and they wait, and it becomes apparent to Shank, that's done. They saw us. They didn't buy it. Shit. All right, come on. Let's get her back in the safe house. It's scrubbed. Let's go. So they get home, or they get her back. They put her back in custody. She's kind of for her own good, and she's a black marketeer, so she, they put her back. She is obviously thankful that she did not get whacked, because that's really what she was afraid of. They were going to use her as bait, which is what they were doing, and she was going to get eaten before they caught the fish, so to speak. And so Shank and Rizzo, who's that guy? Malcolm, Deputy Chief Malcolm. They're sitting around the one of the meeting rooms, the debriefing rooms. Yeah, sorry. No one saw anything. They this Tulio guy. Well, actually, they don't even know that there's anyone besides Tulio there. So this Tulio guy, he got spooked and he didn't show up. Man, Rizzo like pounds his fist on the table. No, no, no. It was a good plan. You guys did good. But these guys are obviously smart, whoever they are. And I'm assuming that if they left her, then they probably don't need her anymore, and they're probably off world. Look, we've got all the, we've got the stuff up at Liberty. We have, we've got APB. Everyone's on the search for this Tulio. But if from what I read in the files, he's very good at disguising himself to to hide his facial features. Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much. You did what you could. No one got hurt. They got away. Time to go back to New York. Yeah, I hope so. Old Shank says. Yep, that's what I'm hoping. Come on, kid, let's go. Let's go call the chief. Then we'll go pack up and head home. So they go actually, they probably use the same room. They bring out the vid phone, dial up Dana, and give her the debriefing. They, of course, have already sent the files and everything, the write-ups. And so, sorry, Chief, that's what we got. That guy got spooked, and he never showed. They're probably up in orbit by now. Maybe riding up to Liberty on the pipe, for all I know. But we did everything we could. At least we found a name. So we know who did it, or at least one of them who did it, and then we can go from there. But he's probably on his way out of system by now, or he's gone so far underground we'll never find him. Now she takes a draw and she's like, well, I hope that's not true, because if you don't find him, then it'll be a long time before you get back to Earth. What's that supposed to mean, Dana? You've just really impressed the hell out of Renee. We all know where they're going now, right? They're going back to Tau Ceti with General Meade. That's obviously where they're taking that thing, and that's where they're reporting to. I am not going to Tau Ceti. Well, I think maybe you are. Look, I don't want to send you to Tau Ceti, all right? I don't want to send you in the middle of that war. But that's where you're going. Hey, I love that music in the background. Is your, are they holding a kinsei there? Yeah, it's beautiful music. I'm not going to Tau Ceti. You are going to Tau Ceti. Again, Renee, secretary, undersecretary, I'll retire. You'll get shit. If you want to play hardball, I'm telling you, they are not joking around. You won't retire. I'm vested. I don't care if you're vested. You know how easy it is to unvest you? Do you know what kind of actions can be taken against your retirement for, I don't know, recent activities? This is bullshit, Dana. Do not send me to Tau Ceti. We don't have a choice. And she's not looking at him. She's like looking just kind of directly off the thing. We don't have a choice. I frankly wouldn't be surprised if they sent my crippled ass out there too. All right. Whatever this Renee woman has on everybody, she has it on us. All right. We're small fish. We're small fish. We do what we're told. If you want to retire, if you want to get back to Earth, or back to wherever you want to go to, maybe back to your home planet, wherever, if you want to go, and still keep your retirement, and still keep your record clean, then you're going to do exactly what you're freaking told to do. You and Rizzo both. And I'm going to give him a reaction roll because he's about to blow his top. Rizzo, he's already kind of, he's silently freaking out. Because he has his questions about even keeping his job, staying on the force, and now he's being told basically he's going off world to stay on the force. And he's going to Tau Ceti. That's what they're being told. Now, of course, the people at the time, Tau Ceti it's like a Vietnam analog. So it's not a place that that they want to go, right? Does he blow his top? He does blow his top. Well, he fails his reaction roll. Let's see. Where is... Nope, not you. I want... Man, I keep losing it. I know that it's all right here in the same area. It's a little different when it's on PDF. All right. So he fails. Let's see, what does he do? 5. Argument. All right, so he doesn't care. He blows his top, and now he just gets into this heated argument. He's calling her names. He's calling her a coward, backstabbing bitch, and everything else. And she's looking at him, and she's kind of yelling back at him, although she's keeping her cool more. But he is not. He's screaming at her over the phone. He doesn't care that there's people outside the door listening to him carry on. Rizzo is he's not like praying, but he's kind of in shock. He doesn't necessarily mind the space travel stuff. I mean, he's both of them are from the colonies, so they've traveled in space. They might not care for it, but it's nothing new to them. They've traveled in space, and I think Justin Shank has, I think he's probably served a couple tours as a marshal, or at least one tour as a marshal off Earth, off world. Um, but he can't believe that this is happening to him. So he's kind of taking a hit with his relationship with Dana because he's being ugly and she's being ugly back. And because I don't want to leave Nexus City just yet. I want to do maybe a little more exploring here. Um, because it's a good setting. I don't want to just like skip through it and then go off into outer space just yet. Um, if you don't want to go to Tau Ceti, then I suggest you turn Nexus upside down and you find something. But if you don't, you better get your freaking vac suit on and hop up onto a ship because you're going to Tau Ceti. If you cannot recover that, if you cannot solve this issue in Nexus, you're going to space. And then she slams her finger down on her vid phone and the screen goes blank. And he can't believe it. Well, he can believe it because he's been long enough with the service, but he can't believe it. It went from like last week, things were going great. He loved the computer lab. He was working security. He was doing nice officey type stuff, and now he's being threatened with going to space Vietnam. Come on, kid. I need a drink. And so they go out. See, does the kid follow? I'm gonna say he probably doesn't. He doesn't. They go back to their hotel room. Their hotel rooms are next to each other, and the kid doesn't. I'm gonna say only a 5 or a 6. No, all right. So he does not. He's not interested in going. He's going to deal with things his own way, which may be poorly. In fact, let's see what he does. While Shank says, "I need a drink. I'm just going down to the lobby. They got a good bar down there. Come on, I'll buy you one." I don't really want to go get drunk right now. Fine, then you can watch me get drunk. No, I'm okay. And Shank gives him a stink eye and then heads down and opens up a tab and he's just drinking. He may not drink himself into oblivion, but he definitely needs to drink. And I'm gonna see what young Rizzo. He's gonna do a reaction roll here. Oh, not great. He is really having a hard time with this. Let's see what he does. For stubborn. All right, a choice has been made, and he does not like it. He's not going to cooperate unless things are changed. Let's see. He's decided he's not leaving. He's not going to go to Tau Ceti. Right, unless there's something, and he's not gonna challenge Shank yet. He's not gonna tell Dana that he's refusing orders or whatever. Um, but he's decided he's not gonna go. He is not going to go into space and continue to do this questionable work on other worlds too. So he's going to see how it plays out. So they go back into the office the next day. Um, they've been really scrubbing this information on Tulio, pulling camera feeds, trying to see when he showed up, and trying to find different contacts. So these people definitely, they're getting ready to go, but it's not quite so simple as just they can go hop on their, marine ship that they are using, because they came here undercover, so they're trying to not break cover. I guess it really would be kind of easy for them to have, brought some kind of shuttle or something if they were pilots, but so they have a little time. They're going to be, because they do have, again, they have at least Tulio's photo. It's everywhere. So any kind of terminal, any kind of port of entry, every police force, military force, they all have his info. Now they're willing not to take care of that lady, but that corporal betrayed them. They know that the corporal betrayed them because they know that he was the only one that had that phone. I'm going to say on a 4 through 6 because she was just somebody who was already compromised, and she was just some, hoe on the street basically to them. They would just use her to get some ammo and then be gone. But he was a fellow Marine who betrayed them. So I'm going to say on a 4 through 6, they're going to try to kill him. All right, so my dice is like that. Nothing is happening here, and that's okay. I mean, I could change that if I wanted to. Just say that. Well, obviously they're going to try to, but again, if they're trying to keep low, that means that they're letting their professionalism, they're not going to give themselves up because one, they are probably figuring, and they're correct, that there's some kind of surveillance on him. So if they were to go and try to harm that guy, there's a good chance they would be discovered. So, but they do find, let's see. All right, so I'm going to say that's, let's see, with the lab and everything else, that's a 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay, so they barely. That was an investigation roll. I didn't spot that. But with a +2 from him for his investigation skills, and then another +1 for the lab and having Rizzo helping with his investigation skill. I'm going to say they found something. They found some kind of place. Let's see, and here we have all these cool little things that the hostile solo tells us that there are places. Some districts. So that's cool. All right, let's use our Let's see. Not that. There's that one I just used. Where'd it go? I want to use the location scenario sites. All right, so the camera has saw him do someplace. They caught a film clip of him. Say they pulled it from some corner camera or something from the local surveillance camera. 3-1. Crisis Food Aid Center. Huh. Crisis Food Aid Center. So I wonder, maybe this guy actually, maybe he's one of these, assassins with a heart of gold kind of guy. Um, or he was, hiding maybe as like a homeless person or something at the shelter. I'm gonna say on a 5 or a 6 that he actually was helping there because of his faith, his morals. I mean, he's a Marine or was a Marine, and despite whatever else, a lot of people in, you know, a lot of people help with stuff like that. Now, let's see, 5 or 6, he was being a helpful Hank. Another 1. All right, I'm going to switch up those dice. I'm going to keep that roll, but I'm going to switch up those dice. That's like 4 or 5 ones in a row, and that's not fun. All right, so he was actually, he was hiding there. He was hiding there. So yeah, he had gone to this food center and found that they had a place. He showed up and stayed a couple nights there. So he was moving around, trying to keep out of sight and everything. Trying to, that's his kind of his disguise. They show up and they're able to talk to people in the area that work there. Let's show them this photo and stuff, and they show some photos of the surveillance photos that kind of showed what he was wearing and things like that. So I'm going to do an investigation roll here. So let's see if they're able to find something out. Maybe the place has its own cameras that that uses to, just for security reasons. Maybe someone there saw something or talked to him or saw some of his friends or something like that. And all right, so I'm going to complain about my 1, and then I'm going to roll another 12. So that's great. That's like a 6 effect for an investigation roll. You throw it, so that's great. So they find pictures. They find a picture, and there is some kind of security camera that they have. Yeah, normally we don't keep them very long, but these guys kind of creep me out. The lady says, "Hey Hector, yeah, show him that film clip. Oh, of those guys. Yeah, yeah. Now look, this place is full of scum and gangs and everything, but these guys, they look like scum, but there was something about them. They were scarier than the usual crazy guys. Yeah, man, they all had that 1,000-yard stare. I had an uncle. He fought in some of the wars, some of these South American wars, and he was decorated and hero, all that stuff. But he had that stare, like he was just always staring into the abyss, man. Always staring. He's there. He was a good man before he killed himself some years ago. he would never talk about it. Okay, Hector, I don't think they will need to know all that stuff. Oh yes, of course, sorry. Yeah, and he goes over to their, that's a little shelter, so of course, it's not very advanced or whatnot, but they do have a little terminal, and he brings up the film loop, the film software, and he pops in a little data card, and sure enough, there's like a loop, and it's dated, let's say about a week ago. It's dated about a week ago, right before everything started, and they're all kind of dressed up as homeless type people, and there's five of them. He sees all five. Rolled a 12, so well, he found out a lot of stuff. And he gets good looks at all of them. It's like they don't even realize that they're being recorded here. And of course, they can't tell what they were talking about, but he can see, at least on a couple of them, he can see little slips of that tattoo, and he can see that they are wearing bulky clothes, and it's obvious that they have some kind of gear beneath them. One of them, in fact, looks like he is actually dressed in kind of nice clothes. So like maybe they all had different disguises that they were messing with, and then they came there to meet. It was only for a couple of minutes, and then they all left. But as they're all leaving, it's almost like a perfect, like a review. They're walking by the camera and they get good on all of them, and so he's able to take that information and he gets that information, and he taps, or not taps, but he accesses the CAS military database and starts doing facial recognition on all of them. Starts searching the database, and of course he has a list already narrowed down, because they already figured out everybody who had been at that one battle who kept that tattoo. What was that battle called? I put it in here, I think. Okay, the Battle of Volcano 14A. There's probably a more colorful name for it that the survivors or the Marines or whatever use, but that's the battle. So it's this battle at this volcano. So at least three of them are going to be on that list, I think, and easy to pick out. Well, let's see. All right, I'm just going to roll 1d6. See, as a indication. Okay, so I think that's probably that's all of them. So they're able to actually find the name and rank of everybody, and now they can start pinging. Now they've got that 5 times as many suspects that they are starting to ping. It was a big break. That was a big break. That 12 was a big break in the case. So now they have everybody's name on that list. So as far as all the police have the faces and the names, and of course we know that they're good at disguising and stuff. So it's still possible that they're able to hide away from that stuff. And it's a big freaking city. But let's see, have any of them managed to by way of their scheduling and planning, have any of them managed to get out of the city? All right. That happened just, let's see, would it be yesterday? Yeah, I guess it would have been yesterday. 5 or 6. Okay, so now they of course don't know it, but so at this point, all 5 of those people that they are looking for are in the city. So now their cover is completely blown. but they still are going to be trying, and they of course they don't know it yet, but they're going to be trying to get out of Dodge or get out of Nexus. All right, so they spend the rest of the day pretty much in the office doing those things, researching, putting out the feelers, sending out the paperwork, and he doesn't want to talk to Dana, and he in fact he refuses her calls, but he does send her uh, a text that with an update. He sends her the report, gives her all the details, but he's not ready to talk to that bitch yet. So he's um, he's doing that. Let's see. So we still we have this ongoing tension with Rizzo, but Rizzo, this actually kind of makes Rizzo happy because now he hasn't completely decided he's going to leave the force, leave the Marshal Service. He has decided he's not going at this point. I mean, he may still be convinced or whatever, but without something major, he's not going to go. He's not going to go. He'd rather get fired or put in jail or whatever than carry on in this ridiculous, corrupt department that offends his faith. So this actually will help him out. Let's see. So they are hiding. They have spread out, and they are skilled. Do any of them come up? Do any of them get caught or get seen now that they know now that there's APBs and and their pictures are around? I'm going to say just one day that they're still being very careful and they are professionals, but they have the resources of the whole city, and the city itself is pretty new. It was basically built up, around the pipe. So I'm sure it was built on an older city that's crumbling slum somewhere, but the rest of it. But I'm going to say on a 5 or a 6 to some rando officer or marshal or camera pick up one of these guys. Okay, no, another one. Good grief! And so they have everything in place. They have all the cameras set up and ready to watch, and they're happy. Rizzo is happy because he's not going to go, and Shank is happy because he's hoping that he won't have to go. I mean, he got his retirement threatened, and that's not good. And he would be hard pressed to really picture Dana screwing him like that, but this is something big, and so he can't rule it out. He can't rule out that if he doesn't play ball, that he might be costing himself his retirement, and he doesn't really want to spend the rest of his days being a greeter at at a Vorenkovo box store, big box store, or whatever. So he's happy, and I think because it really was such a monumentous break, I think that it's going to kind of cool things down with our two guys. Rizzo is still not going to go to Tau Ceti at this point, but he doesn't feel like he needs to push it. Unfortunately, still by the time they go to bed, no one has seen anything, but it takes a while for that kind of stuff to propagate out, and it's a good reason for a good sleep. And so they go to sleep, and we will see what happens. We'll see what the next day brings. What the dawning of the sun over Nexus as it casts its long shadow. The tap casts its long shadow across the earth. as the sun rises. And we'll see if they are able to track anybody down. Maybe they won't be going to Tau Ceti. I doubt that, but we'll see. So next time they will start hunting down these 5 Marine Special Forces guys before in this huge city, and that's something to keep in mind too. This is a huge, huge city. All that back there. That's a big old city, and 5 highly trained assassins are in there somewhere. And next time we'll see if our heroes can find them. Anyway, thanks for joining along and happy gaming.